Hi guys, Peter Finch here and welcome down to Tech Tuesday, your weekly look at everything to do with technology within golf. And today we're going to do a slightly different Tech Tuesday because normally I look at what's current, what's coming out, but I've had so many questions this week for whatever reason about second-hand clubs. So that's what this show is going to be dedicated towards. And what I'm going to do is a couple of different options that you guys can look into. So I'm going to look back over the last 10 years or so at the major champions, so the guys who've walked away with the biggest prizes in golf, what they were using within their bags, what you can pick those clubs up for now, and exactly why they are still such a good club. Then what I'm also going to do is break it down even further and give you a bag of clubs that you can get for 200 quid just by shopping around a little bit more smartly. Smarter. Don't sound too smart when I can't figure that out. And it is amazing when you start looking back. When I did this, I've done a bit of research into it, and some of these clubs, I was so excited about them when they came out, but now it's just, after year on year, loads of different clubs coming out, you just forget about them. And this has really brought a lot of them to the forefront of my mind again. So first of all, we'll do the major champions bag. Now, like I said, what I did, I just pulled up a list of the major champions over the last 10 years. I've had a look through some of their bags, what they were using at that moment in time, picked out some of the best offers which are available at the moment, so you could investigate further if you wanted to. So before I start describing these clubs, what I've done to research the prices, literally use Google Shopping, eBay, Golf Bidder, other sites as well, just to really try and find the best deals out there. And these prices are coming in from all over the place. It's probably taking me an hour and a half to research all these things. So it will take you some time if you do want to shop around for these clubs. That's part of the fun. Now, first up, we're going back to 2010 and Martin Kaymer's triumph at Whistling Straits. Now, interestingly enough, when researching this, his driving distance was greater then than it is now. So, read into that what you will. Obviously, swing changes and different factors are at play. But in that competition and in the following year when he rose to #1 in the world, at least for part of it, he was using the R9 Super Tri driver. So this driver was £329 recommended retail when it came out. And when you look through the details of it, a lot of these themes are going to become very, very familiar to you guys now. It's a larger head, more forgiving. The CG is 2mm further back in the head, making it easier to launch the ball higher and with more spin. And you will hear this a lot, you know, when these drivers are released ever since, oh God, you're looking over 15 years, you know, moving the CG further back, launching it higher, easier to hit. It's only within the last few years that a few companies have broken off and said, well, actually, we want to move the weight further forward, or at least give you the option of moving the weight further forward if you use TaylorMade as the example here, you know, with the M1. But back then it was all very much get it lower, make it easy to hit. And this was one of the key examples. And that R9 Super Tri driver, get it for 40 quid including postage. Now the particular shaft that is available was a stiff, the one that I researched, but there are other options available around that price as well. So next up on the list of major champions clubs that you can get is Henrik Stenson's 3-wood. The Callaway Diablo Octane Tour, which has been with him for several years now. And it's the one that everyone's familiar with. He did cave in the face of his most recent one, so he was using an Epic in a recent tournament, did a video on that. But the one that everyone knows him for, his famous 3-wood with that blue grapholoy shaft, is the Octane Tour. And I think most people know what that club is, and you can still pick it up for $59.95 in pretty much new condition with free postage as well. And it's not only available in a 3-wood, you can get different loft options. But Henrik is known for that club, you know, that is his favourite club. That is the famous one that he uses off the tee. And you can pick it up for 60 quid. 60 quid. So next up on the list is irons, and we're going back to 2010 at the US Open Pebble Beach, where Graham McDowell won his only major so far, and that was using the Callaway X-Forged irons. Do you remember the X-Forged irons? They were so shiny and so exciting when they came out, and they were top dollar. Forged iron from Callaway, you're looking the best part of 700-800 quid for those irons if you're lucky. And you can pick them up now, 3 to pitching wedge, for 160 quid including postage. And again, that was in a stiff shaft. So a set of forged irons which has won majors, 160 quid. And he wasn't the only player at that time that was using those irons as well. There were a lot of other Callaway staffers who were using those clubs. Now for the wedges, I've gone to the wedge master, Phil Mickelson, and these are the clubs he was using at the 2013 Open, where he just literally ground out a fantastic win. And he was using the Callaway Jaws wedges, and you can pick up 3 of those wedges. And it took a little bit of shopping around here, but I got the 52, the 56 and the 60, and I could pick up 3 of those wedges for 110 quid including postage. And that was pretty good. I mean, the 60 degree I looked at was a little bit battered. It could have done with a bit of a refurb, maybe a re-groove. But overall, again, 3 wedges, 110 quid for relatively good condition. And I could have got cheaper than that as well, but these again were very, very good wedges. Great deal. So we're going to go back just slightly further now, 2007, 2008 to Padraig Harrington's little major flourish that he had, 3 majors within 2 seasons, back-to-back Opens, and then the USPGA. And in that time, he was using a white hot 2-ball blade putter. I also used to have one of these putters as well. They are a lovely, lovely putter. But you can pick that putter up for £30 including postage. So all of these clubs I've looked at here, they're all pretty much to my spec. I think some of them may need tweaking when I got them in, so new grips, whatever it may be. So the overall cost may end up going slightly. But to get all those clubs as they are from all these different sites is £399 and 99 pence. So just under 400 quid. So just under 400 quid, literally, you can get a full bag of clubs as used by major champions over the last 10 years. And they are all fantastic clubs. So after I did that major winners bag, I thought, well, what else could I get for my money? Now what I did is I went back in and I searched for loads of different clubs which I remember liking, did a little bit more research into top clubs from the years as well. And I came up with this list for under 200 quid. Under 200 quid. Now all these clubs are very much based on my game and what I would like to see in my bag. It would be interesting, and I want you guys to have a go at this as well. If you do have some time, you want to have a go. Search around for under 200 quid and see what you can get in your bag. Now in my bag for this money, iron wise, I can get MP33 irons. So a classic Mizuno iron that when refurbished and when buffed up a little bit would just be as good as pretty much any forged iron out there at the moment. 3 to pitching wedge, 65 quid included postage. 65 quid for a forged iron, which you've buffed up, if you polished, if you put back on a shelf, you could quite easily say, oh look, these are the best forged iron there's ever been. 65 quid. Now if you go into some shops at the moment and you want the newest forged blade, you're going to be paying upwards of £1,000. And you can get some fantastic clubs out there for a fraction of that money. Now the driver that I've selected is the Cobra S91. Now this driver, when it came out, it was hot on the heels of a few other releases. Cobra went through a real purple patch of producing fantastic drivers. And this one was another really, really good one. It was after the USGA started imposing their limits and they were really pushing at them back then. And I remember this driver being really, really good when caught very well. Not so easy off the heel or off the toe, tend to drop out of the sky quite quickly. But for me, I remember this driver being really good. And I can get this in an X stiff shaft for 59 quid including postage. And again, because it was pushing up to the legal limits, as long as I strike it pretty much out the middle, it's still a fantastic driver to have. And with drivers, don't be afraid of just going back a little bit further. Don't be afraid of going back 10 years, because there's still some fantastic drivers out there. Now I love this one, Ping G10 5 wood, 24 quid including postage. Now this 5 wood, well, you could have got 3 wood, any fairway wood obviously, but the shape of this, it was so classic and it is easily still gameable today. To be fair, the whole G10 range, the G10, the G15 range as well from Ping, they're still absolutely superb clubs. If you do see any irons, driver, fairway woods, have a go with them. I think you may be quite surprised at the results you get. Super excited about the wedges that I managed to find as well. So Mizuno Raw Haze wedges. Comment below if you remember these wedges, guys. Mizuno, fantastic iron maker, brilliant wedge maker, but yet so often overlooked. For whatever reason, when people see Mizuno wedges, they just don't associate it with really high quality clubs, which is mental when you consider how highly people regard their irons. People get to wedges and they think, Callaway, Vokey, Cleveland, yeah, possibly Mizuno, but I think I'd rather go for those more established wedge brands first. Try Mizuno wedges. They are great. And these raw haze wedges were amazing. You could get them unfinished, so they all rusted up and they got all sexy like that. I like a rusty wedge. Now these wedges I could pick up with a 53 degree and a 56 degree. So when I actually got them in, I'd have to bend them and I'd have to sort out the loft so the gapping was equal. But a little bit of tweaking is absolutely fine when I can pick them up for such a cheap price. And 30 quid for two of those wedges including postage is awesome. Now the putter's interesting because I didn't actually know what the prices were coming to as I looked through those clubs, and I suddenly realised I only had a very small amount left to spend on the putter. But I can still pick up a Yes Diana putter, so the C Groove Yes putters, for $18.99 including postage. Yes putters generally are fantastic. There were some better ones for a little bit more money, but I would have been going up to about $210, $215, something around that. So I picked a putter which looks okay, looks a little bit battered, so could do with a bit of a refurb. But again, that putter for just over 18 quid is really, really good. And I used to love Yes putters. They went through a bit of a funny phase and they've kind of fallen off the map a little bit now, which is a real shame. But that putter for that price again with a little bit of refurb is really good. So guys, first of all, what do you think about these bags? Comment below and take those amounts. Take the Major Champion challenge as well. So last 10 years of Major Champions, go through their bags, what they may have been using, and try and get a better bag than what I've got. I think you'll find that difficult. Also try and get those clubs for under 200 quid. A little challenge for you. And it is a question that I am, like I said, getting quite a lot this. About second-hand clubs. What should I be doing? Should I be going to get custom fit for new clubs? Should I go and get second-hand clubs? And a lot of it does depend on the individual, because if you are going to get new clubs and you do want a full custom fitting experience, generally I would say find a really good club that you like, go to the manufacturer to get fitted, or go to a very good independent fitter like Torex, Nick Hibbs over in Wigan. However, a lot of people can't afford that. So if you want to get into the second-hand club market, there are so many options out there. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Please comment below, let me know what you think. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Follow me on my other social media platforms as well. And we will see you down here next time.